Right now, you can get both Sprint's unlimited plan and the all-new Samsung Galaxy S10 included for just $35 per month per line for 5 lines. All you need is approved credit and an 18-month lease. No trade-in required. Visit a Sprint store, sprint.com, or call 800-SPRINT-1.
Phone $15 a month after $22.50 a month. Credit apply within 2 bills. If canceled earlier, main balance due. Unlimited basic after 6/30/20. Pay $32 per month per line for 5 lines with auto pay. Data deprioritization during congestion. Speed maximums. Use rules and restrictions apply.
Right now, you can get both Sprint's unlimited plan and the all-new Samsung Galaxy S10 included for just $35 per month per line for 5 lines. All you need is approved credit and an 18-month lease. No trade-in required. Visit a Sprint store, sprint.com, or call 800-SPRINT-1.
Phone $15 a month after $22.50 a month. Credit apply within 2 bills. If canceled earlier, main balance due. Unlimited basic after 6/30/20. Pay $32 per month per line for 5 lines with auto pay. Data deprioritization during congestion. Speed maximums. Use rules and restrictions apply.
Hello there, this is Jim the Keys bartender coming to you from North Key Largo at the estate of Jenna and Tyler Kelly. I didn't trip.
You didn't say it wrong this time.
I said it crisply.
Yes. We're actually not North Key Largo. We're just Key Largo.
You're North Key Largo. You're 103. Everything South Key Largo?
105. North
105?
105 and north up the
really?
Old Card Sound.
I don't count.
Yeah, that's North Key Largo. That's where the creeps are.
Yeah,
I mean, creepy creatures.
Well, I don't count north. Oh, I may be topping out again.
You're topping out. You're talking too loud.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I got to control the volume.
You don't want everybody's speakers to be shaking in their ears right now.
Yes. I'm just turning it down so I'm not blasting you away. Welcome again. This is episode 149.
149.
I titled this Mandy's Hat, and you will know later what that is. But before we get into it, I want to thank our listeners. We're getting a big boost from Boston, Washington, D.C., Chicago. We have Germany.
Fabulous.
Guten Abend.
Right now, it would be Guten Abend. Yes.
Guten Abend. Mm-hmm. Actually, it'd be good morning. Morgen.
Well, in their time, yes. Guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen.
Yes. I don't know I don't know too much more German, but
Guten Tag would be good
Guten
day.
Tag.
Right, that's good day.
Yeah, to your next day, and whatever holidays coming up for you, and then also Japan. Whoever's listening in Japan, Kastu, and I hope that whoever was in Iran is still alive and well.
I hope so. They're not listening anymore, or maybe somebody cut off all communications.
Shout out to them. To them. No insult. I have admiration for almost every culture out there, except maybe cannibalism. But
is that a culture? Is cannibalism actually?
Motherfucker has to eat. You know what I mean? So maybe not. A little introduction
to Mandy's hat.
Yes. Mandy is one of our regulars, and I'll let him know. He's a 50-year-old Cuban American man. And now I work with him. But when I first met him, he's a big fan of our house band or Saturday band that plays at the Catch, the Freddies.
Yes.
And he's sitting there. He's like, he's the number one booster, I guess.
Are you sure it's Mandy or is it Manny?
Mandy, because he's Cuban and go by Mandy. But Armando.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Mandy.
Well, that makes more sense because if it was Manny, then you would think it was Manuel.
No, it's Armando.
Okay.
And he goes by Mandy.
Mandy.
Yeah, and he loves that band, and he only drinks blue Long Island iced tea.
Blue. Why are they blue?
Blue Curacao instead of triple sec. That's and instead of Coke, you put Sprite. I have a hot mic there for you if you want. And I did say I'm here with Jenna Kelly. I did say we were at your estate.
Yes.
I didn't introduce my co-host, Jenna Kelly. Say hello.
Hello.
I almost tripped over that again.
You almost did.
I know. Well, I think it's because and Mandy always smells like he was a medical marijuana dispensary that caught fire. He reeks of it. He's like, if you touch him, if you licked his body, not that I would lick his body, that you would get a reasonable amount of THC coming off into.
So if you licked Mandy, you would get high, is what you're saying?
Yes, I think you would.
So I think that the advice would be not to lick.
So
Mandy.
he's always loud when he comes in. He whistles and he yells the Freddies and all that stuff. And he drinks his Blue Long Island, and he comes marching in. And I don't know, at many bars recently because of the atmosphere, it was bad enough when I was bartending and people didn't like the president then, right?
Yes.
There were people that just couldn't abide having a Barack Obama, and they'd come up and have to, shut him down sometimes. But now, when Mandy comes walking in with a MAGA hat.
Yes, the Make America Great
is a
Again.
Dark Cuban too.
Oh,
he's a dark Cuban with a gold tooth
okay.
and all that stuff, and he has a thick accent.
And
he didn't assimilate like 100%, and he'd be great. He's wearing a MAGA hat, and they go, Mandy, you should. You're crazy. People don't. I mean, we get older guys. Older guys come in with that. You don't give them a hard time because they're old men,
right?
So you're not going to tell them what to do and stuff. Mandy works there now.
He works at the Catch now.
He works at the Catch.
What is he doing there?
We do not wear. I do not wear. I'm very political. Yes. I do not wear political things behind the bar. And he's working. He's not working, but that's right. He comes in, and I told him, Mandy, you're the kind of guy they want on the other side of that wall. You don't want them. They don't want you on this side. And there's this 80-year-old man there at the bar.
Is it the one I know that's there often?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not here. It's not here. But he comes in, and before Mandy comes in, this guy's sitting there, and he's talking about about all different ethnic groups that have come recently to the United States, how bad it is and how much, there's control. And I said, listen, I don't want to talk politics and stuff like that. And he goes, well, a lot of people think the way I do. And I go, yeah, I know. But, I mean, not everyone. Everyone has different opinions. So we're a bar. We're trying to be happy. So he comes in, and all of a sudden, Mandy comes tricking, and he's yelling in Spanish to the guys in the kitchen, which is great. He's yelling in Spanish to the guys in the kitchen.
Wearing his Making America Great Again hat.
Well, the guy doesn't realize that yet. And I didn't realize that yet. And he comes sit down, and I look at the guy, and I won't say the guy, I don't know if he listens. I look to the guy, and I say, Robert, here's one of your people that agree with you. Would you have him over your house? And there he is screaming Spanish and all that stuff. And he was just pissed off. He's talking how shit he is at, how many people speak Spanish in South Florida. You know what? In Bensonhurst, whatever, where the Italian part of New York City in the early part of the 20th century, you only heard Italian.
Right.
And in Wisconsin and Minnesota in the early 1800s, mid-1800s, you heard a lot of Swedish.
Yeah.
And shit like that. Chicago, Polish.
Yep.
In my neck of the woods in Pennsylvania, mid-part, my grandmother didn't speak English until she was 10 years old, and part of that was because of World War I.
Well,
because
right.
when we joined in, my grandmother was born in 1909, and when she was like 6 years old, it was 1909, 1915. We got in the war in 1917, so she was already 8 years old. Don't worry, but we don't pick up the volume of the dog. The dog was barking.
Oh, I'm sure they can hear him yapping a little bit.
Well, it adds some special effects,
That's just Hoagie.
Outside, it's a beautiful night. It's like 70 degrees.
It's beautiful.
And I'm describing this situation here.
Yes. And
so
that's just Hoagie. He's agreeing with your story. He's just now he's getting puppy love.
Yeah,
yes.
Mandy comes in screaming Spanish. She goes, yeah. And he goes, a hat. I said, do you know what that means, man? He goes, I have no idea. Someone gave me this hat. He says, it's controversial. And I said, Mandy, that's great. And I said, it's kind of a divisive hat for you to wear. And all the guys in the kitchen, after a while, they started looking at him, right? And our chef and all that stuff. And they're saying culero. They're saying cabron. Oh, asshole.
Right.
And shithead and all that stuff. And they're laughing at him. They're going like, it's like a Jewish guy walking around, almost like a Jewish guy walking around with a Nazi uniform.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So I explained to Mandy. I said, Mandy, yeah, this is great. And he goes, so yeah, so hard. And then later on in the night, he takes the hat off and he puts it back on to get people. Some people don't like it. Some people like it,
Just to get a rise out of them.
And he goes, boy, I think I may get some girls. I say, you'll get certain girls, maybe. Or you may not get any. Because there was a big article in one of the papers that it's been going around that a lot of the people that are supporters of the guy in office right now, they find it very hard to get laid in Washington, D.C. Among the educated class. So they may have to go to West Virginia.
They have to go find the uneducated
Alabama.
areas.
Yeah, they may have to go there and get a piece of tail.
Well, I mean,
yeah, or go to a part of town that
but
they don't understand, like an Asian massage parlor.
Well,
or something like
doesn't Washington D.C. have like one of the highest prostitution rates as
yeah,
well? I mean, so they could probably go pay for it. I mean, it's probably.
I heard about Uber drivers turn people down. And some white guy. Some white guy got fired from Vans? Is that a
Vans is a shoe company, right? Vans are the tennis shoes. Well, skater shoes.
Kid walks in with one of those hats, and the white guy, who's kind of a bohem, he calls the kid an asshole. What can I get for you, asshole? Something like that. And the mother comes up and gets all pissed off.
Oh, gosh.
And I go, you go to Vans, Don't go to Vans. Don't go into NBA stores and stuff like that. They're not going to really. You probably get by in a Waffle House.
I call them Waffle Trailer.
Bass Pro.
Bass Pro.
Bass Pro. You got to go a gun shop, a gun fair, a bait and tackle place. Not down here necessarily.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, bait and tackle place. Yeah. Fishermen.
Well, Bass Pro is bait and tackle.
Some of them get away from, but I would stay away from any of the stylish places. Like you can't even go to the Gap.
No.
Forget about Victoria's Secret. You're not going to meet anybody. Not even the girls in Victoria's
Especially
Secret.
the highly educated ones that work at Victoria's Secret.
Well, yeah. Oh, there are some highly. These girls that work there.
Right.
I guess they make decent commission.
They do. Well, when it's $45 for one pair of panties.
Oh, well, that's funny when you talk about that. Abby's always getting coupons for it, right?
Yeah, of course.
She's always getting free ones and all that stuff, but she goes and spends some money when you buy stuff. So she always, 4 times a year. You know how many times does Tyler get underwear a year? Once a year, Tyler?
Maybe
every couple of years.
I know. We wait until it breaks down and it falls apart.
Exactly.
It turns into...
I am part of a certain club.
He is part
it
of...
turns into,
he's
Underwear
part,
of the Month Club?
No, he's part of the Commando Club. So he doesn't usually wear
Does he worry about chafing? Oh, he has to get shorts that are...
Well, yeah. Well, when
he wears loose...
He wears the boxer briefs when he does wear them, but I will tell you that the most of them that he has are at the end of their life.
You worry about zipper burn and all
that? I don't think so. He's pretty much just Commando all the time.
Okay, you wear loose... Yeah, that makes sense.
They gotta breathe.
Okay. No. Well, some of my shorts are not are form-fitting. And
yes,
if you
basketball shorts, I put on boxers.
Yeah.
People can't hear you.
Yeah,
you have to speak into the microphone.
Okay. You're... where were we going with that?
We were talking about...
This is how we segue.
Well, we were talking...
We finished with Mandy.
About
Mandy and how
about how
Mandy's
the ladies
not going to be able to get laid.
Victoria's Secret probably make a hefty commission.
Won't get laid by anybody at Victoria's Secret. Maybe the lady that cleans the Victoria's Secret late at night. And not because he's Cuban. Because he smells like a marijuana. And he walks around. He was sporting last night. This is last night. A plaid pair of pants that looked like
golfer shorts
thing that a bagpiper wears across his mouth when he does it. When it's Scottish.
So like a kilt.
Like a rag. Well, not. Yeah, it's
kilt shorts.
Yeah, kilt shorts. Bright red kilt shorts, a MAGA hat, and a purple T-shirt. And a MAGA hat.
Oh. Well, I mean,
and he was who
at
he
least
was.
He doesn't
and
care about.
I said, I don't think you're like. It's like having. I don't know. It's like having something that attracts you. I don't think anybody really is attracted to that. They're not going to go up to it and go, "Oh, I want to make out with this guy,"
right?
Because they're wearing that hat. But then when you see everything else.
Then you think that there's you know what? There's got to be one lady out there that's really into red and purple. And Trump,
right.
who's into dark Cuban guys. I mean,
the Latin Kings.
Yeah,
The Latin
possibly.
Kings are gold and purple, the color of a crown royal bag.
Hopefully not gang members, but
What?
the Latin.
Oh yeah,
Kings.
well there's girls. There's the girls.
The girl gang
auxiliary,
members.
Right? They have auxiliary.
You think that Mandy has a chance with girl gang members?
I would, on that note, if there's any Latin Kings out there, if they'd like to, I would love to be an honorary member, or a Crip,
Or
a
blood.
What's the East Coast one? Tyler, you would know.
I
It's just blood and
don't
crib.
remember. Well, one's blue, one's red, but I'm not sure what the blood. Obviously, the bloods are red,
and
right?
If it's possible, I don't know if it's possible, but I'm not making fun. I'm not. All respect for your social club. All respect going to you. For
Yes,
that.
all
I mean,
respect.
as long as you're not doing anything really horrible. But Mandy, we were talking about how Mandy chose his way, and he would explain. He confided in me that he was having a hard time meeting women. They don't appreciate him. And I said, well, maybe what you do on the outside doesn't reflect the person you are on the inside.
To an
I'm not
extent,
saying
yeah.
I'm not saying a red MAGA hat. It's a possibility. It's a possibility of you being a decent guy and wearing that hat.
Well,
But when you're wearing the plaid pants and the hat and drinking the blue Long and iced
stole them.
the blue Long Island iced tea, Tyler. That's
Well,
right.
as far as not judging somebody, by their appearance, also in one of our previous segments, we were talking about our bookstore right up the street from here, our adult bookstore.
Oh, the Lover's Boutique.
There was an incident.
Well,
There was an
I'm
incident.
I know the guy's name. Let me just say, you tell the story.
Yeah.
It's Amato Guerre.
Yes.
Guerre. Amato Guerre,
Yes.
a 20-year-old
Yes.
from Homestead. And I have that too. This is a Key Largo story. I'm going to let Tyler tell this story. It's a great
So
story.
just-
This happened last night.
Scrolling through our Facebook page here, Monroe County Sheriff's Office has their own thing. And basically a caller called in and said there was a gentleman walking down the bike path exposing himself and also appeared to be masturbating while walking. So it goes into
Oh,
effect.
yeah, that's multitasking.
Yes,
Dude,
exactly.
I thought
that's
about
worse.
that.
That's better than
It's like, would
walking
that
and chewing
throw
gum.
your rhythm off?
So after
while you're
receiving an
walking?
incident
I think a stroke,
exposure,
yeah, one
a
stab
woman
stroke,
reported
yeah.
that a man exposed himself to her and that he appeared to be masturbating while walking down the bike path. The caller stated the suspect appeared to
She
be
was
en
dri-
route
She was
to
driving. What time was it? 11 o'clock?
11:15.
Okay, it's close to a full moon. There's a super
Yep.
moon. It's 11 o'clock at night, so the moon was probably out. But
Setting the mood
it's nice.
lighting.
And she's looking and she goes, "Oh my God, that's an incredibly small fishing rod." No, it's not a fishing. And looking, and he's just walking around.
Why is he reeling in his fishing
No,
rod?
you get the explanation. When he,
So-
not only did it catch him,
Well,
doing
The guy admits to everything.
yeah.
You left out the part that he was en route.
Yes, en route to the nearby adult bookstore.
Yes.
to get a video disc.
Deputy found the suspect matching the woman's description, identified as Guar, at the adult bookstore parking lot. Deputy asked Guar what transpired, and he stated he was walking to the adult bookstore to get an adult video when he became impatient while en route. Admitted to masturbating in the open while en route to the adult bookstore, and admitted to seeing a woman in a car, the caller, while he was doing this.
Okay, but what did he?
We're in Key Largo. There's so many fucking bushes around and dumpsters. He could have just,
Especially right behind the bookstore.
Behind the bushes, you just see someone looking.
Okay, but
So these are the people that keep our
I know.
bookstore.
And they, what else did they find? They found marijuana,
a small
and
amount of
grinder,
grinder,
and a grinder.
Yeah, and a grinder.
And the grinder. So putting to rest that old myth that pot reduces your
Sex drive?
your sex drive.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it does not. It does not. The thing that reduces every guy's sex drive is everything else. The whiskey.
whiskey. Well, that's why it's called whiskey.
Tired. But marijuana, not necessarily the case.
No.
When you find that you get impatient, walking to the Lover's Boutique, and once again, Lover's Boutique, we could have nipped that story in the bud.
We could have been
We
there.
could have lived there if you allowed us to do.
We would have been there live and
been
caught
there live,
and been
you
able
know
to
what?
see the show
But
when they
you
caught him
are
in the
mentioning-
parking lot.
So I guess Lover's Boutique has an even bigger draw now.
Yeah.
They didn't mention the Lover's Boutique.
No,
they did
but
say that it
it's
was
the only adult
the
bookstore
adult
at Mile Marker
bookstore.
102.
More than a bookstore.
But it says the adult bookstore in Key Largo. Well, that is the only adult bookstore,
I know, yeah.
in quotes, in Key Largo. Although, here's my thought, okay? What did you do with your pants while you were walking down, if you're walking down the bike path?
Well, we have flies.
The
But,
flies, yeah.
so you really just,
Could have been an open one, or it could have been.
But when,
could have been those kind of loose gym shorts that.
But exposing,
How
so
could
he
that-
had to have, actually had it whipped out. So,
Yeah, I know. You got that zipper thing.
Yeah.
If it was zipper, you get. Now you're talking about being commando, abrasion, and you're walking down the street. Imagine if you trip. We got a lot of gravel on the not P-rock.
It's funny.
P-rock. And it's like big kidney stones. You'd be.
road rash on
Road
that
rash
area
on your
with
deck.
coral dust in it and all that fun
Oh, my
stuff.
God.
Yeah,
And
no.
then-
I pictured like
I'm
a
holding-
little short man with his pants around his ankles, walking really short,
Waddling.
short little
You
steps.
know that's funny? You are not that far away from that because the guy looks. He has a weird kind of bowl haircut. I
Actually,
think on him.
let me go on
I
to
saw a
our
picture.
app.
And, he's on Monroe County Sheriff. I
Yep.
saw a picture of him.
I'm gonna look him
He
up.
is 20 years old. And you know what?
And he's from
His
Homestead.
His name is Amato, right? And I was, it's only 2 letters off Armando.
Which, of course, relates to Mandy.
I thought, but Mandy's 50 years old. And Mandy was talking how lonely he was, maybe. And I thought, oh, Mandy, if that was...
If
they got his
hopefully it
name
wasn't
wrong-
Mandy.
So charges, misdemeanor, incident exposure of sexual organs, marijuana possession not more than 20 grams, and drug equipment and or use. And if you guys could see his picture, I mean, he suits the description
Yeah, he does.
in every way.
Oh, man. You know what? How do you recover from something
I
like that?
just don't
When
know.
you're walking down the street in a major tourist destination and you feel you have to just yank one off right there why are you going
to get the video.
why are you getting the video
If you're already walking and
if
doing
you're
it,
able to do that,
Do
you
you-
have enough energy to stay home and imagination where you could just stay home or wherever you do that stuff. But he has a Homestead address.
right? He
Yeah,
lives
where's
in
he
Homestead.
walking from?
That's what I said. I was like, so what did you do? You just parked your car somewhere, and then you decided to get out and walk the bike path, and then put your
11
pants at
o'clock
your
at
knees
night.
and start walking and jerking
Found
it
himself in Key Largo,
Found
about
himself-
30 miles away from his
from his home. Well,
home.
yeah, and then
And he's thinking, well, he had to have access to a because you're in Homestead. There's tons more adult stores there, and plus, poor guy doesn't have any.
I mean, he obviously
doesn't have any cable.
And a Monday night.
Doesn't have
or,
any-
or
Yeah,
a
Monday
cell
night.
signal. I mean, how much porn can you watch on your cell phone?
It's free.
Right? That's what I'm saying. So
It's free.
you're
Who gets DVDs anymore?
walk down the street.
Why? I mean, I could see more plausible. I was walking to the CVS to get a box of tissues and Jergen lotion.
That would make more
Bactine-
sense.
A Bactine from the abrasion injuries I've given myself. Because obviously, if you're walking down the street and you find
But
that
again-
you can't hold it for that amount of time. But
Maybe
once
he
again,
took
to
a
be
little
like-
blue pill. We don't know.
When I saw the story today, I thought, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't shocked.
Have you ran
I'm not
across
shocked.
this guy before?
No, but I'm not surprised. I'm just it's not nothing shocks me anymore on that. And I'm sure that was just yesterday. And there's stuff in Key West, and we missed that one. The great story of the year before was the lady that was going on a date.
Starting off 2019 strong here in the
Remember that
Florida
lady?
Keys.
Yeah, remember that lady in Key West?
No.
She was going on a date, and her ex-boyfriend is driving her. And in the car, she is shaving herself in the most intimate of areas when they get stopped
Ah.
in the vehicle. And obviously it wasn't, I mean, she probably had her legs up on the dashboard doing that, and that's Key West. So,
Oh goodness, key weird.
so
No
here we
offense.
go. That's good. And on the new one, I have a new move, a signature move. I was working, and it happened on, what did it happen on? It was
Happened to be Monday at 11:15.
Oh, you saw that when that one to move?
No.
No, that wasn't my move. That wasn't the one. I was working with Holly on a Friday day, and it was busy. It was the beginning of President's Day weekend. We're working, working hard. She's on the floor. I'm on the bar, and she works her ass off and stuff. But they get to nibble more because there's food over there, and we're not supposed to.
They can hide. They can kind of hide from people.
Go up to their table
they can go over to their waitress station and grab a couple bites and
grab a bite and stuff like that. So here I am waiting, and it gets real slow right around 2:00, and there's one other customer, and he's on his computer, his iPad.
Oh, him. Yeah, he's always there.
And then I ordered the food, and it happened to be cayenne shrimp, and it comes up, and this lady walks in, and he's one somewhat regular, and nice. She's in her late 60s, sweet lady. She's going a mile a minute. She orders her glass of wine. I give her a side of ice, and she sits there. And what happens? While my food's sitting there, she starts talking about Rwanda when she was in Rwanda, blah blah blah. And when I was there, it was 2 months before the Tutsi and Hutu got in the massacre, and it was genocide. Blah 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 blah. I mean, for minutes, and I'm thinking, holy shit! And she is going on. I don't know if she's on pain meds and the alcohol, but she's going full force, no breather. And I think, oh wow. This must be what people think of me, but I stopped. Get right there. She doesn't stop. No breathing and all that. And I don't want to go, oh, excuse me, I just got my food. And I couldn't because she really needs to talk because I've seen the way her boyfriend of 38 years treated her. And he's like 70 and he tells her to shut the fuck up and all that stuff.
Is this our couple that had the incident not too long ago where the sheriffs came in?
No. Okay. No, that's a good one, too. No, we don't want to talk about that.
No.
I don't know. I got to hear that one, the incident. You mean, okay. Well, back
to yours.
Annie's doing that stuff. No, now I'm thinking about that. Oh, I said the woman's name.
Shoot.
Okay. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. She keeps on going a mile a minute, and then Holly walks behind the bar. I got my friend. I go, Holly. I said, you got to tell Holly that story. It's fascinating.
You passed it off.
She put her elbows on the bar and looked at her, and I said, game on.
Right.
And I just grabbed my food and walked away.
Genius.
I know, and I sat down. And I took my time. It was an appetizer, so it took like 6 minutes. I came back, and I put my hand up and go, hey, I'm tagging you out. You can go, Holly. And she looks at me, oh, thanks. And then she goes, did you do that? Did you set me up? And I go, yeah. Yeah, of course. Well, how else am I going to get to eat?
Sorry, Holly.
I know. I was just in there, and the guy at the bar he's drinking his Miller Lite.
Nope.
And he yells at me. He's spitting on his keyboard. So yeah, and Annie just sat there and had no clue. And I went out and said, and she was done.
Yeah.
She just talked out.
She just had to
13, 14 minutes of talking. Had done that, and I don't think she listens to the podcast.
No,
there's so many people. I'd be surprised. We're getting listeners in Boston, New York, Chicago. We only need like 500 here in Key Largo.
Now they hear about
an idea who I'm talking about.
all of our local crazies.
Yeah, they're doing. And what were you talking about? The ones we called on the couple.
Oh no, you didn't call. Somebody called. Remember the reckless driver?
Oh yeah. Yeah. When they
I don't.
The bad part about that though was that and this couple is in particular is usually in there every day, and so she wanted to have a cigarette and she realized she was out. Yeah. So she left to go to the store to get cigarettes and she came back and
when she came back, we're on a corner and we're on the northbound side of Route 1. And she was coming off the southbound side at the median, which is directly north of us. And she comes shooting south a little down the
wrong side
to get. And it's granted, it's only 20 yards, maybe 20 yards at most. It's still going the wrong direction.
But it is also across from our government center that the police are at all day, every day.
Yeah. And when they come walking in, they go, "Hey guys, have a seat." And they go, "Did I say that?"
Yeah. Have a seat anywhere you like.
Go, we're not here to eat.
Yeah.
And I'm going, come on.
No, you said, "Are you here for business or pleasure?"
I said that last night.
Was it?
I had troopers come in there.
Oh, goodness.
And they were sweet. The troopers, the ones that aren't friendly, right?
Yeah.
The state trooper, this woman, corporal, came in with one of the other troopers, and they come in and said, "Are you here for business or a pleasure?" And she goes, "We're here to eat." And with that big smile on her face. I said, "Come right in and have a seat anywhere." And they were smiling, and I said, "Oh, geez." Well, I mean,
like they're happy
Andy
troopers.
Griffin, Andy Griffin, when he used to arrest Otis.
That's Griffith. Yes.
When he arrested Otis, the town drunk, he was never mean to him. Just take them and throw them in there. I know you can take them. They're not going to. These people aren't going to resist. You just take them in. They're either guilty or not. You're either going to arrest them or you're not. I mean.
I read a funny meme about Andy Griffith's show the other day,
What?
and they said, you realize that while everybody was on that show, they were so happy because none of them was married. They were all single people, except for Otis the drunk.
Otis the drunk, you're right. They were all single.
Yep.
Aunt B, widowed
Yep.
maybe or something
Yep.
like that. You never know about her. Barney, who the fuck is going to fuck Barney? Barney had a girlfriend once or twice.
don't
But
even
they didn't
know.
allow him to have a fucking bullet in his gun. He had to keep the bullet in his pocket. You remember that?
I honestly don't remember that.
Okay, well, yeah, Andy let him have a bullet.
Oh, one bullet Barney.
Yeah, he had to keep the bullet, gave one bullet,
Mm-hmm.
and he had to keep it in his front pocket.
Oh, poor Barney.
It's like, well, you know what? He got he might as well have a condom there as much as he would use either one of them.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, the guy, the actor, what's the actor's name? I forget his name. Come on.
Maynard G. Krebs.
Maynard G. Krebs, and he was also Mr. Furley on Three's Company.
No, Mr. Furley and Maynard G. Krebs are a different guy.
Yeah, well, Maynard G. Krebs was Bob Denver.
That's Bob Denver. Yeah.
Bob Denver. And
But
I
they're
forget his
all
name.
this.
He had bug eye, skinny guy, and he was in the Incredible Mr. Limpet.
Oh goodness.
Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank right now. But forget about it. You know,
Okay.
and you know we got.
While you're thinking about this,
in real life, the guy would never have gotten laid. He was what, 5'8", 105 pounds.
no, just a little guy.
Yeah. He wasn't allowed to carry a weapon because they're afraid he'd shoot himself in the penis and the dick.
Okay.
Kill Otis, run Otis over.
So we're missing the funniest part of the reckless driving story is that when these three police officers come in and they all start confronting her and asking her if she had just been driving, the people called and complained that she was reckless and telling her she shouldn't have any more alcohol, things like that. Well, the last of the policemen that was standing in the back of them obviously recognized me, and we recently had, a theft issue at Riva. So one of them was part of the same, officers that responded to that. So he looked at me and kind of waved his head, and upwards, like, go outside.
What's up?
So he went out the front door, and I went out the back door, and we met outside. And he says, "So, are they telling me the truth? Was he riding with her and all this other stuff?" And I said, "Well,
What was that deal about that?
because this girl was obviously very under the influence, but she hadn't had enough alcohol to make her speak in the horrible slurring tone that she was speaking in, and she kept talking back and was being kind of rude to them." So he asked me, he goes, "So what's the story with her?" I said, "I don't know." I said, she and her husband was not with her. She just went to the store.
Like an attorney, you just said, "Don't talk."
Right? So they said, "Well,"
and if they don't get in a vehicle, and there's no establishment, I mean, if they get her to admit, I think they could have got it. They could have. They could have gotten her on something, maybe.
Well, I will tell you that when I'm
Reckless.
confronted by any kind of police officer, I'm brutally honest because they're going to ask, and I'm the same way. I don't ask a question, especially a very serious question, unless I already know the answer because I'm going to see if they're going to lie to me.
Yeah.
So this cop is like, "So was her husband with her in the car?" I said, "No." He said, "How do you know?" I said, "Because they were here when I got here for lunch."
Yeah.
And the wife left to go get cigarettes and she came back, but she was by herself.
She said that.
right? Well, she did not tell him that. They did not tell the cops that at all.
I thought they were saying the way they were asking the question was whether she came in that way.
No, yeah,
Was still her first.
They assumed that she had just gotten there, not that she had been there and left and came back. So I said, no, she went to get cigarettes. She was by herself, and she came back. So that's obviously when another, another pedestrian or somebody somebody else on the road called her in because she was scaring them, and her driving was terrible. So they said to me, well, what do they do for a living? And I said, well, they're an Uber. She's an Uber driver, and it's true. And he said, oh, okay. Well, do you have any of their contact information? And I said, actually, I do. Here's the business card, which I handed them the business card, and it had the husband's name on it. Yeah. And they said, well, how come this is his name is on there, but he says he's not the driver, she's the driver? I said, oh, well, he can't drive anymore because of his DUI. And then they were like, oh, my goodness. And
when they left, left, I told them, I go like this. You guys, you're on their radar now. There's no way about it. They're going to put you in, and they're going to put you under suspicion.
Right.
Like that.
So
whenever they can get your license, they have your license plate number.
They do.
So now, whenever they see you.
But I will tell. I mean, I haven't been in there in the last week just because I've been busy with the Miami Boat Show. But I haven't seen them since.
Well, I haven't either.
So maybe they're cracking down on themselves
they live near another place.
Oh, well, maybe
they live near another place, but
it's terrible.
I've never seen her when she didn't slur, so I don't know if it's a.
See, I thought there was some kind of maybe physical impairment. That's
you never know. There's people out there,
but
I don't mean that. I'm not trying to be the devil's advocate, but there's a. When I was in Philly, there was a guy who had gotten into. I don't know if it was he got a really horrible beating, or if he was in a bad accident with it, but he was brain damaged.
Yeah.
So, and he loved to drink, and he was a wealthy son of a wealthy family.
Oh.
And he couldn't drive, so he was walking everywhere, and he lived in it's a shame about it. It's going to sound like a shame, but he lived like a half a mile, 3/4 mile from a bar. In Philly, that is huge to be that far away from a bar.
Oh, really? There's that many bars?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, in almost every section of town. There was, from when I had a loft apartment, there was within 3 blocks there was 4 bars, and I wasn't even on the main strip. And if I went up the strip, by the time I got to the main strip, I'd have to go past 10 bars.
Oh, my goodness.
And then within 2 blocks, there's 7 bars. Within 2, not New York blocks, Northeast Philadelphia blocks. And there'd be a bar here, a bar across the street, another bar next to it, and stuff like that. And it wasn't like a downtown tourist area. It was like Wisconsin.
Well, Wisconsin has little towns everywhere.
Bars all over the place.
Well, right. I moved here from Hammond, Wisconsin. Yeah. And I lived north of town, about 15 miles north of town. So it was, it took a long time just to go get gas. Mm-hmm. But in the town, there was, and still is, 4 bars and 3 churches and 1 stop sign.
People?
I couldn't remember. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, the 2 neighboring towns had shared schools.
I had a friend of mine call me last night, and he was asking me questions about the keys. I didn't get a chance to talk to Pat McGeehan from McGeehan's Bar.
Oh, Pat!
Hi, Pat. Hi, Heather. Hi, everyone. I never got a chance to talk to him. I won't talk about what we talked about. But down here, you don't realize, even though there's 6,000 year-round residents, and then what would you say? There's 20,000 people when it's real busy. Because you got me one?
Yep.
That there's places here where you're upwards of 4 miles away from the nearest bar. Easy. Because there was such a some places just a thin line of humans down here where the land is only a couple hundred yards wide.
Yeah. Once you get into the middle lower keys.
Yeah. Well, even up here, right?
Yeah.
Where you got down here, well, you're within walking distance of How many bars? I'm not talking. That's.
I mean, depends on walking distance.
North,
if you want to walk a mile, then
half a mile south, there's the Fish House, and there's.
Yeah.
Well, I would say, we have Lazy Lobster, which is a restaurant that does serve alcohol now.
Yeah.
That's about 4 blocks behind us. And then the nearest
that's close.
would
Then
be
we have the
Fish
Fish
House,
House.
which is a restaurant.
Then the Catch.
And then the Catch. Otherwise,
the VFW, which I
VFW.
haven't heard too much since
north
it's
of
been
here, you
revamped.
have another 2 miles. You gotta go. 2.5.
yeah, north of here.
A mile and a half.
Mile and a half?
Yeah,
Nearest-
you got Breezers, Sundowners, CJs,
So,
Big Chill, all them.
You got to hike here.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna, there's, like we said before, there's a lot of bike riders here because
walking masturbators.
one road.
One road.
One road. It's not like we have side roads.
No.
When you're leaving the bar, you're getting on the highway.
Right. Well, and there's not a whole lot of. I mean, there's bars that are on some of the side roads, but there's not a whole lot. I mean, we've got like Buzzard's Roost is kind of hidden in the back.
That's nice.
And
you can now those
Shipwrecks,
people, and they got their own people in that neighborhood.
right? That just can walk on over there. Yep. Mm-hmm. But there's nothing really here that's
when you have to drive someplace
on the residential areas. There's not a whole lot
you
of
can't.
bars
Well,
anywhere right here.
You wouldn't get your incidental traffic,
Right.
right? In these neighborhoods. I mean, up in Marathon, they have that stuff. We get like a mile off the road, and you're driving.
Yeah, like Burdines. But then
Bird
again,
Eyes.
if you go in, you go down to any place that you can find like a decent canal system, there might be a little bar restaurant right there,
Yeah. There's one,
and that's
there's
like
a-
Buzzards and Shipwrecks and
the
even
Pin-
Skippers.
The Pin and Juice Bar, I think, is opened up. That's at the marina behind. It's up in Tavernier on the ocean side on the marina.
Is that over by Tavernier Creek Marina?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
No,
that far.
not that
no,
far?
Tavernier Creek, where that boat place is.
By Plantation Boat Mart.
Yeah, it's not that
No.
one. Not that one. That's Mar Bar. There's one called
That's
the
Mar-
Bar.
that's right.
It's like a beer
Casa
bar.
Mar little area. Yeah.
So, but you have these places, and that's why when you hear people getting a DUI, it's not like Miami.
Right.
Well, yeah. I had a run-in when I was younger. I'm not going to be older than now. Nowadays, it disrupts. It is a major inconvenience,
Yeah.
major danger. I won't joke about it. This thing about being able to drive, but it's getting closer and closer to a zero tolerance. In Europe, when you're over in Europe, virtually no one, if they have a drink, they don't drive.
Right. Well, and
Because
honestly,
they don't have a thing where you smell a little like it. That's it.
Uber, though, with Uber and taxis and everything else out there, I mean, I just can't imagine. Just get an Uber. If you had too much,
Especially
get an
now,
Uber.
We're in season here, so we're going to have an influx of tourists, and we have a lot more. We get people that come down, even seasonals that drive
Right.
Uber. There's people that come down, and this couple that came in last night. They said they're retired and they're staying at Calusa. Charles and Carol.
Oh, hello, Charles.
Nice.
Hello,
I don't know
Carol.
what they did, but they were nice. They were very nice people, and the woman said I looked like somebody. She could never put her finger on it. And I said, well, I've been told I pass passing resemblance for Jim Hernandez. And she goes, who's that? I said, well, no one of significance, but that's me. So we're gonna, you know what? Why don't we go and take? We're almost there. We're gonna push once again at the end. We're gonna regroup and come back. We finished the story. We got the guy walking down the street,
Right.
jerking off.
We do. Right.
Jerking his gherkin, and we have Mandy with his MAGA hat. And I'd like, if you like these stories and you'd like to hear more about them, we'd like to do more shows a week. We do about 2. We're going to try maybe do more, but we'd like to get some iTunes reviews. Currently, as of last checking, only 13.
So we have iTunes reviews, but you can also review us on Spreaker.
Yeah.
And on Spotify, right?
Yes,
and
yes,
I believe
yes. The
iHeartRadio as
higher,
well.
Anytime we get the extra review bumps us up. So I said we were, what did I say, 122 in Germany for comedy podcast?
I believe so.
Yeah, and thank you. What did I say?
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön to the...
or vielen Dank, which means many thanks.
Oh, many thanks. Okay. But we're currently 357 in the United Kingdom.
Ooh.
357 if we get maybe like some of those towns like Devonshire or Devonshire, whatever you call it.
Liverpool.
So my fellow Brits out there.
One of the tax havens. One of the tax havens there. We like to have the shout out to Isle of Man. Ireland. We have a nice
Isle of
boost
Man.
for Ireland. I don't know. I don't know necessarily the town that the Irish are listening. We got Japan, and obviously we have Boston, Chicago, D.C. Some interesting towns. Ohio. Homestead, Ohio. Whoever has a phone number. It goes by wherever the download occurred. So if they have if you're using it from your phone and you have a phone that's registered Marathon or Orlando. So this past week we're running about 30% South Florida, 70% the rest of the country and the rest of the world. Actually,
that's really cool.
Outside the United States.
Which is awesome.
10% outside. And our listenership has increased.
And shout out to our Japanese fellows, just because I am a Yamaha
Arigato.
Suzuki dealer.
Domo Arigato.
Konnichiwa.
I know that from the Styx song. You know who I am. Got a secret? Mr. Roboto.
Mr. Roboto.
You know the song?
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Oh, yes.
Domo. There's a guy in college who used to sing that. He'd grab his balls every time he did that. And he thrust them forward. I go, I don't think that's part of the song, the thrusting of the balls and all that stuff. But
and soon we'll have Jim Moran karaoke here on the podcast.
Oh, no, I'm not a singer. I just know it's Domo. It's Mr. Roboto. I don't know if it's. I think it's Mr. Roboto's the name of the song.
Yeah.
Which is maybe a Showtime movie now or something like that. Mr. Roboto.
I want to see you do the
star of whatever the show. I don't know. I could be way off on that. So many freaking channels and stuff. We're going to get back on that sometime. This is the end of episode 149. Our next one's going to be
150. That's a good milestone.
Ghetto. Whoop, woo. Woo-hoo. Okay. I'm going to put on some music and we'll just cruise on out and take our piss break.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, remember the iTunes reviews.
Don't forget.
Yes.
iTunes.
Some people are looking
different.
After a long day of being pulled in every direction, the last thing anyone wants to think about is what's for dinner. That's where Schwann's can help, with a variety of real food choices, frozen to lock in freshness. From ready-made meals, premium meats and side dishes, to vegetables, ice cream, and more. Schwann's foods go from freezer to table in minutes, not hours, so you can pull off a delicious meal in no time at all. Ordered, delivered, done. That's homemade easy. To help simplify mealtime, visit schwanns.com.
The all-new Toyota RAV4 asks, what if? What if your ride was refined and rugged at the same time? Introducing the all-new RAV4 Hybrid. 208 combined horsepower and standard all-wheel drive make it the most powerful RAV4. Plus, with its head-turning style and breakaway speed, it's bound to change the way you think of a hybrid. The all-new RAV4 Hybrid. Toyota. Let's go places. Horsepower. Ratings achieved using the required premium unleaded gasoline with an octane rating of 91 or higher. Premium fuel is not used. Performance will decrease.